Hi everybody, I'm Dean Coleman with Sweet Endeavors Honey. Please forgive the potential crudity of this video. It's the first one I've made to post like this, so bear with me. But I want to show you what goes on in a beehive after winter and the hive has died out, and what we do to get it ready for a new package of bees in the spring. So when you remove the covers, you'll remove the outer cover to start. Then you'll come to the inner cover, which is oftentimes got some beeswax. We'll just take a hive tool and we'll scrape it off and clean it up, which I'll go back and do that later. That's not fun to watch. So then we come to the top of the hive. I start off by cleaning off any additional beeswax that's been built on the top of the frames over the fall. This just gives the bees a fresh start and kind of cleans things up so we don't have a mess going into the spring. We'll take the wax and just set it off to the side. We'll use it to make some of our candles. Okay, so now we've got down to the top hive. If you look inside, if you want to come over, baby, you can see that the bees cluster up in the winter. And looking down inside, you can see that cluster right in here. Unfortunately, what happens is because of varroa mites or disease or starvation or extreme cold weather for periods of time, the bees can't break that cluster and move around and follow the food. So they'll either starve, or if the hive is too small, they'll freeze to death. So what we'll do is we'll start pulling out some frames. And while bees are very good at cleaning up dirty comb like this, we just want to kind of help them out. So we're just going to brush the bees off. And if you brush in an upward fashion like that, the bees tend to come off the comb a little better, because the comb sits at a 13.5-degree angle generally for gravity. So you can still see there's some dead bees and stuff in there, but the colony will clean that up when they get in. And we'll just continue to go through, just knock those bees free. If you get real crazy, you tap the comb against the hive and it will drive some of the other bees out. I don't know how necessary that is. So now we've come to our last frame here that's got dead bees, so we'll brush the majority of those off. Now the rest of these don't really have much for bees on them, so we'll just kind of separate those, make sure they're clean and free. Set them off to the side and put these frames back in for the next colony. Kind of get them over to where they're sitting in place. Got room for one more. All right, now with the top hive cleaned out, we're going to separate them. Now, bees make a substance called propolis, which is what they use to glue everything together and seal up cracks. So a lot of times the hives are stuck together. But we'll pull it off and kind of do the same thing. We'll scrape off honeycomb on the top of the frames, clean them up. Pull the wax off to the side, save it for later. And kind of the same thing. Most of the bees will be in the top frames over the winter, but there will probably be a few in below or down below, and then the ones that we knocked off on the top frames will be down here too. So we just kind of separate the frames out. Also checking for mice or other visitors or parasites or whatever that might be causing us some problems. Once we get them kind of separated out, then we'll separate the bottom hive off the landing board. Again, the bees oftentimes have it glued into place. So we'll pull it off. And then here we've got some dead bees. At this point, I like to look along the bottom board, and here you can see, come in a little bit, baby. You can see these little brown spots in here. Those are actually the varroa mite, and I'm pretty confident that that's what caused our bee losses this winter, are those little mites. They're very tiny, but they pack a big, big wallop on a bee colony. So that's why it's important to manage your hives and treat for the mites. We treated last year and it wasn't overly effective, apparently. So we're looking at rebuilding this year. So once you kind of get an idea for what is going on, just kind of clean off the landing board and the screen. Then for a new colony, there's not enough bees to keep 2 boxes warm. So we're gonna start off with just one. We'll put the hive down. We'll put the inner cover back on, the outer cover back on, and that's it. That hive is pretty much ready for the next colony of bees. So thanks for watching. Check us out at sweetendeavorshoney.com, and we'll see you soon. Thanks.